Hi, everybody. Just thank you so much for being here, participating in this. We've had the incredible Casca Graham speak first thing this morning, and she did a beautiful dragon Reiki session with us. Then we had the beautiful Joanne Angel Barry Colin with us, who really drove home the beautiful point of how much we can step into the power of our own fitness. I guess our own fitness, our own whatever that may look like, whether it's the fitness of our muscles or the season that we're in, if you will. So next we have the beautiful Marian Egan. I met Marian. It was really interesting, and she's going to talk about that when she comes into the conversation. So her in let me take a breath. How about we just bring ourselves into this space first? So coming together as one in this beautiful sacred space again, all about woo, the world of oneness. Taking that beautiful breath, feeling yourself relaxing into it, feeling a calmness settling. Asking again for the mind, body, and soul in all aspects of self to be willing to receive and share, to accept, trust, and believe. Thank you. So Marion is this beautiful soul from Ireland, and she provides solutions to physical, emotional, and mental pain, empowering people to heal themselves using self-healing tools that Marion personally created, which are simple, easy, and quick to get results. And in essence, what she's got is this beautiful card deck, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about that.
I'll let
As
you
I
know.
said, I am just so ecstatic to introduce Marion to you. And
Okay.
Marion has a very interesting story. Would you like to share how I came into your world or what happened there? Because it's just, to me, it's such a miracle.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just I got the inspiration to ring Sandra Pelly. And I'm thinking, I don't really remember the name, but okay, so I take up my phone and I scroll through and I'm looking for your name. And lo and behold, you're not there. And I say, well, that's interesting. But it came two or three times. And normally on the third time, you know yourself, you kind of say, I'm meant to follow through on this. So anyway, you weren't there, so that was okay. But 2 days later, I was on a Zoom and you were in a breakout room. And here I see the name Sandra Pelly. And I just said, because remember when we were introducing ourselves, because we had to introduce ourselves, and I said, well, actually, Sandra, we have already met, but not officially or, or in person. So, you know, talk about the universe putting us together. And
Yeah.
then when I heard about your interests and my interests, how matched they were, it was like, oh my goodness, you know. So that's how universe works.
And you know what? When we talk about this summit, the All About Woo and the world of oneness, that is just such a prime example of things like the stars aligning and what have you, right? Like it was, um, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up, right? Yeah.
And you know, both you and I are very well connected in that realm. And even for us, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, how amazing is that to have a universal introduction.
Exactly. So I want to kind of explore this a little bit more. In getting to know you, I really started to recognize a couple things. And if anybody had a chance to look at the guest speaker page, then you'll notice that Marian Egan is the magic moments of mastery and momentum. And I can just feel the flow of that because of the things that have already unfolded with us. Like you've been a part of my world now for, gosh, I guess it's about 7, 8 months, maybe even longer than that. I guess it's probably about 9 months now, and
Yeah.
maybe even 10. No, 9 months. Anyway, um, and I've really been witnessing, like, honestly, the magic that you have. And you have this very unique I believe it's a unique gift. All gifts for each soul is very unique. And you had a crisis going on in your life, and because of that crisis, some real magical things began to unfold. And again, if you guys take a look later during the break, take a look at the guest speaker sheet and go and take a look at some of the photos. Tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life then that this started to evolve for you.
Okay, so it was pure and utter desperation. And I really mean that. I felt as if somebody had punched me in the gut, you know. My poor 95-year-old mom got COVID and pneumonia at the same time. And she was already on oxygen 24/7. And her doctor just said, this is not a good situation. And then to add to that dilemma, my daughter informed me of her cancer diagnosis. Now, I'd mom on one hand, Jenny on the other hand, and Jenny wanted me to be her mom, not her therapist. You know, I'm qualified in many modalities, and in practice over 30 plus years. So, and I've had many cancer clients. So anyway, I wanted to follow through and just be Jenny's mom. So I said, okay, well, what am I going to do? And many years ago, well, in 2010, actually, I brought, I'm the founder of Heart Art Magic, and I call it magic because it's my acronym for my ability to go into my center, because we do have the answers within us. Sometimes we're so busy looking outside of us, we don't actually realize the body has an innate intelligence to heal itself, you know. So anyway, every week that Jenny had chemotherapy, I did a healing painting, and I sent the energy of the painting to Mom and Jenny because it was during lockdown and nobody could travel. And they both got well. So, you know, now they did have their conventional treatments. It's not just what I did, you know, but what I did, I think, added to, you know, to that healing. So then that's how I got the inspiration then, Sandra, when I was doing these healing paintings. And it came to me one of the days that I was to create a card deck. And I'm saying, holy God, how do you create a card deck? I have no idea how to do that. But in the desperation, I just followed through on the inspiration. And then I gave each image on my cards. So you've got the image on one side. I created a message for the reverse side, and I created a frequency number, and the frequency number is all about the image. And then I said to myself, well, how do they work? I hadn't got a clue. So I rang a client of mine and I asked her, had she any pain? And she did. And her back pain was 7 out of 10, if 10 was the worst scenario. And after doing my cards, I think I did 3 cards with her, installed the frequency number, and her pain went away. And I did that client after client. And the nice thing is I Zoomed and I got permission to record each one. So I have it all recorded. And their pain went away. And for stress and anxiety, and it was hip pain, back pain, neck pain, whatever it might have been. And it eliminated the pain. And I just said, this is such a gift and I have to share it. So that's what I did.
Yeah, extremely powerful. I know you've been a part of another summit of mine, and you were able to kind of share even further with that. And I really invite you guys to go take a look at the her beautiful, unique gift. And check it out because it is extremely magical as well. You do have the opportunity to go further with that. Having said that, you went further. You didn't just create this deck and just work with clients. It's actually gone quite a bit further and is accredited now. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I am a kinesiologist and have been for 30 plus years. So I approached the International Kinesiology College, and I honestly thought, Sandra, that they would laugh at me when I said I had this card deck, you know, but no, I spoke with Dr. Wayne Topping and he said, send me your manual and I'll review it. And he came back to me and he said, Marion, I normally get a lot of manuals. And he said, what you gave me is, he said, it's about 80, 90% there. He said, you need to tweak a few things. And he said, you know, this is what I would advise. And I reviewed it and I revised it, sent it back to him. and it was accredited. Now I had to teach. Now this was me teaching people how to use the cards for themselves. So it became a self-healing tool, because my mission, Sandra, is to empower people to heal themselves. You know, give the person the tool, let them do it themselves, but be there to support. So that's what I did, and yeah, so my course is accredited with the International Kinesiology College Personal Development School. I'm so grateful for that too.
I love that. Uh, you've, it's so interesting because you don't have just one deck, and it's one of those things where at first it was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And now it's like you're literally, I believe you're on your third deck now.
I have just finished my third, and I'm nearly finished my fourth. So
Wow.
the reason, to be honest with you, the reason for that, we talk about desperation, because there's challenges I'm still going through myself. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, a problem really is a message. If you have a problem, it's a message that you're getting. So what's the message? And it's again looking inside of yourself. So like here beside me, I keep my paintings in a black sack because it just keeps them as clean, and stops the light getting at them. But when I did deck three a week or so ago, when you get into a flow of doing it, when I started, the flow wasn't really there. It was like, oh, how do I do this and whatever. So when I got into the flow and I'm coming to the end of deck three, I just said, okay, Marion, start deck four, because you're in the flow now. You know how to do it. You have the paintings. So start creating deck four. So that's what I did. And because of the challenges I was going through, Sandra, I decided keep uploading the paintings, keep writing the messages, create the frequency numbers. And I kept going, kept going. And when I looked at deck four, I'm 9 paintings short of deck four. So that's how close I am to creating deck three and deck four.
Wow.
And yeah, and I am going to I'm going to San Diego in October to a conference. And so deck three is based on my book that I published in 2010. So a lot of the paintings that I did and have in my book are in deck three. And I'm actually going to talk about my book at this conference. So, but really the deck is much more useful than the book. I mean, the book is okay, but and the book for me was it was literally for me. It was
Yeah.
just needed to put it out on paper, because once you express it and you get it on paper, or whatever it is that you write down, it's no longer held in your cellular memory. It's now outside of you. And that's what my book was for me, not really for anybody else. But then I've been using deck three on myself, and
Mm.
I'm blown away by, I set my intention, I choose the cards, and when I get the uh, card one, two, and three, and I'm kind of saying, oh my gosh, I actually wrote these, but they are so profound, even for me. I created them.
I love that. I want to, there's a couple pieces here that I want to hone in on. First of all, really recognize, beautiful listeners, that uh, when your journey is putting things in front of you, and when you choose to acknowledge it and then get in the flow and follow through on the flow, it's really, really powerful. And I think what you just said is so impactful, Marian, about how that journey is for you. I wrote the a spiritual how-to as well, and that was because I needed to find out how to have a spiritual life. And because of it, I knew that other people would benefit from this, just like from your book as well. And we will be providing links for this book. If I'm assuming it's available on Amazon. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. So so you're talking about the healing magic that's going on, right? So when we
Yeah.
take that a step further, you're talking about this deck of cards, and where do I want to go with this? You know, Um, I'll tell you from my own experience that I actually got to already witness and feel the magic of deck three because I had a conversation with Marion a while back when I was healing with broken ribs. And she pulled a couple of those cards, and the frequency is so magical. Before that, I was in a class with her, and she did a beautiful pulling of cards on me. And I have to tell this story, Marion. So she asks us to do something very specific with this set of numbers. And so I did this, right? And unbeknownst to me, they disappeared after a bit. And it was probably weeks later. I'm literally out for a walk beside the gully over here by my house. I'm out on the path, and lo and behold, I look down and I'm like, what the heck? And I bend down and I pick up this small piece of paper, and it's the numbers Marion had given to me going, hey, remember us? It was just so beautiful. And it was like, again, you just can't make this stuff up. It was such a magical moment that was drawing my attention back to this beautiful frequency, this beautiful healing moment, and of course, this beautiful soul in front of us here. So,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. And just based on, you just sparked a memory. 24 years ago now, Sandra, my family were taking care of me because I couldn't take care of myself, right? I was laid up in bed, I had a spinal problem. And
Mm,
I was doing a lot of, I called it my University of Life experience, because where else can you get, I had a young family, I'm a mother of three, but I couldn't bring the kids to school. I couldn't collect them. I couldn't cook for them. I couldn't wash for them.
yeah,
They literally had to take care of themselves and look after me, right?
yeah, in there.
So, yeah. So I wrote this prayer for myself, and I called it Forgiveness for Freedom,
Mm,
because I really wanted to get out of this bed, and I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't walk properly without crutches. So I started off and I said, I forgive myself for all the times I did not like myself. I forgive myself for all the times I did not love myself. I forgive anyone who ever hurt me. I forgive them and me in order to be free. And I just felt whatever forgiveness I needed to give myself, I wanted to be free. And I was trapped in this physical body, and it was so painful. I lost all my lean muscle mass, because I used to be at that, before this happened, I was teaching fitness classes as well as running my practice. And so every little bit of lean muscle mass I had was just wasted away, you know, because I was so long in the bed. But eventually I did have spinal surgery, and it fixed the mechanics of my back, But what was more important for me was the learning that I got in just being, not doing, just a human being.
yeah.
And,
Can I ask the audience just before you go on, please? I know
uh,
that you're saying that prayer and me taking it in felt very, very, I felt such this massive sense of compassion. And I would love for you guys to write in the chat. What did you feel when Marian said this? Do you mind saying it again? Do you mind if we close our eyes and you say it again for us?
Absolutely.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
called it forgiveness for freedom. I forgive myself for all the times I did not like myself. I forgive myself for all the times I did not love myself. I forgive anyone who ever hurt me. I forgive them and me in order to be free. And it's very simple. And I think too, if you think about the blame game, I spent many years blaming myself, and I lived in a lot of blame and shame. But that made me the person I am today, Sandra. I wouldn't be as compassionate as I am, and I feel so blessed to have been gifted this uh, painting from the subconscious, the heart art magic. And that's why I call, when I'm introducing myself, Marion's magic moments of mastery and momentum, because I have mastered my thought processes, and the momentum it has given me. And not only given me, but anything that I get, I have to share. It's not just mine, it's for everyone, So I just love to pass on, because I know when I was in the pure and utter depths of despair, I just needed somebody to put their hand out and say, okay, here's a hand up, take my hand and I'll show you the way. So I just feel this is my way of giving back to what I've been given.
So powerful. So very, very powerful. Wow. I know you have, as I said, this beautiful gift, and it's about experiencing ease and comfort. Do you have the ability to tell us a little bit about that?
With the cards, do you mean?
Yeah. Let me just take a quick peek here. Right. It's a 9-minute 3 oracle card reading from your deck. I dreamed a dream. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, can I tell you the story behind I Dreamed a
Please?
Dream? So, my mom, bless her, lived she just passed before her 97th birthday, which was, and as she said, she used to say to me, Marion, this is not living, this is existing, because she could no longer take care of herself, and she was always very active. She loved swimming, and, she was a great, she fell and really hurt herself badly when she was 65 roller skating, right? So, but anyway, so she passed just before her 97th birthday. But about 6 months after she passed, I'm out cycling on my bike and I'm in the middle of the country. And then I just realized, oh my gosh, I dreamt of mom last night.
Mm.
And I'm thinking back, well, what was the dream? Now, I was very blessed and fortunate to be with mom when she passed, and I held her hand as she left. And I felt that was a great privilege for me. But in the dream, anyway, I'm sitting on her deathbed and she's passed. And next thing, she takes a deep breath and she opens her eyes and she smiles. And I'm thinking, I'm confused now. Is she gone or is she not? This is the dream. So the next thing, she's walking around the room and she's about 30 or 40 years younger, right? And she comes
Wow.
over to me and she gives me this big, massive hug. Now I'm on the bike. I can physically feel the hug as I recall the dream. And I got very emotional about it. And I just said, I need to do a painting on this. So I came home, and normally I just paint on paper, but I took out a canvas and I painted. And so I'm sitting there having looked at the painting, and there was a lot of hearts in the painting. And I said, okay, I need a name for this painting. And then just instantly the name comes in. I dreamed a dream. I said, well,
Wow.
that's true. But then the next thing was the door to my studio opens, and I look because the only person that could come in was hubby, right? And nobody comes in. But then I got this hug. I could feel the hug again. And then what happened next was I got the message in my ear. It's like as if somebody whispered in my ear, that's the name of your next card deck. And I
Wow.
went, oh my goodness, because the amount of work that goes into putting a deck together is enormous, you know. So that's what I did. So what I did for that deck, Sandra, was I put in a good few of my traditional paintings, not just my art paintings, but anything that I felt would portray a message that I could use as a message went into that. So it's a mixture of art and my traditional paintings. So that's where my deck two came from.
Love it.
And
Love it.
yeah, and deck three was another. It was another visit in a dream from mom, not as profound as that one, but I think she just wants to be in every deck.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because in deck four, the painting that I did after a dream I had with mom was Whispers from Beyond, is what I, yeah. So she definitely wants to be remembered.
Yeah, very much so. So definitely go check out Marion's website so that you can grab her cards. They're coming from Ireland, so be aware that there will be a however long it takes to snail mail across the ocean, right? There's something else I wanted to say or ask actually was about the gift that you have for everybody. It's a 9-minute 3 card pull from that deck, I Dreamed a Dream. So did
Yes.
you want to just kind of give us a why would they want to grab this?
Okay, so the ideal scenario is to set an intention. Like, what is it that you want to either eliminate or change? If it's stress or anxiety or pain, if there is any pain in your body. So, and you can stop the video to write down your intention. So set your intention, because it's really important to set an intention. And then if there is a level of pain, well, where is it on a scale of 0 to 10? If 10 is the worst scenario, is it a 5? Is it a 7? And test out, go for a little walk and see, well, does that hurt when I walk or bend over or whatever it might be? And then come back and play the video again. And when I take out the first card and I read it and I read the message, it's amazing. Even though everybody's different, it will resonate. It will resonate for the intention that you want. And then when you install the frequency number, then the comfort starts to creep into your body, and the pain starts to decrease. So the main thing is to allow it to go, and it's to give yourself permission for the pain to actually go. Because when you say that in your head, I give myself permission, this is not serving me. But remember, pain is your body talk. It's your body saying, excuse me, can you have a look? This is bothering me, right? And your physical pain will be a direct relationship to either an emotional or mental upset or spiritual upset.
You know what? You just brought up something that I want to just kind of reflect back on because I remembered what I wanted to say when you started speaking at the beginning. You spoke about your family and the things that they were going through, and that the when you created these paintings and that you actually facilitated healing. Yes, there was the Western medicine is what we usually term it, that is involved as well. And I really wanted to highlight that because I think it's really, really important. Is by no means are we medical professionals on here. So I really want to make that very, very clear. If you are suffering with an infliction of any kind, it is always best to seek proper medical advice. Having said that, we have experienced time and time again that our body also is an energy vessel, and that energy vessel captures moments, whether it's this lifetime or other lifetimes, it captures those moments. And in that stuckedness, if that's a word, stuckedness, in that moment, sometimes we continue to hold on to that. And what Marion's card deck is offering is a release of that stuck energy, and that it could actually dissipate. And then the body has the ability to heal naturally on its own, even when it is assisted with Western medicine. So I just really wanted to bring that point across very, very strongly.
It's very, very important, Sandra, because, as I said, Jenny had her chemotherapy, Mom had all her medicines from her GP and her doctor. It's not instead of, it's as well as,
Yeah.
But sometimes people say, well, why? Like I did a session on a lady the other day, and she was still in pain even though she was using my cards. But it turned out that there was an emotional issue that she hadn't cleared. So once we cleared the emotional issue, because the issues are in the tissues, right?
Love it.
When you hold on, and it's harder to let go of pain than it is to keep it running, because you're running an electrical circuit, right? To keep pain going, you keep running the circuit. Now, what happens when you install the frequency? You reverse the circuit. When you reverse the circuit, the pain can go away, whether it's stress or anxiety or whatever it may be. But you need to be the conductor. So this is the conductor, this is the orchestra. So you need to say, look, I'm very happy to let go of my pain. Whatever is stopping and blocking me from moving forward or bending down and picking stuff up, I allow this to be released right now. I'm giving myself permission. It's like me, my forgiveness for freedom, you know. So now when I did my forgiveness for freedom, I didn't get out of bed and walk as if nothing had happened, you know. I mean, but I was working on the emotional and mental and spiritual aspect of my being in order for me to be free. I needed medical intervention to fix the problem in my spine, and I did that, you know, so
Yeah.
that's really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for highlighting that piece, because you're right. It's like, how does this want to come through? It's some of it is the habit and creating a new habit. And I know that sounds a little like off topic, but it's not. On the other hand, Marion knew very clearly that she had given herself and given others this beautiful forgiveness. And now it was her also speaking with her body that it was okay to accept the healing and move forward from there. Very, very powerful. Marion, this
Mm.
has been just incredible, absolutely incredible. Like every time I hear you, it's like I soak it up and I need more and more and more. So thank you so much for being a part of our beautiful All About Woo Summit.
Well, thank you for asking me because I feel very honored, first of all, to be included and to be asked. And I really do mean that from the heart. And look at how we were introduced. I mean, as you couldn't make it up. I mean, it's just, as you say, it's all about woo, you know, but definitely the universe works in mysterious ways, you know, and it's to go with the flow of universal energy, because when you're going against it, it's like swimming against the tide, you know, go with the flow. It's easier and so much more comfortable in the end, you know.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Absolutely magical, magical soul. Like I said, I've known her about 9 months now, and no word of a lie. Every time I get together with her, it's just like I just feel like I'm in awe of the magic that she creates. And I love the theme that's going through today is really quite unique, isn't it? Like the issues in the tissues, the pain body, all these different pieces that we're hearing time and time and time again. So again, there's no mistake as to why this is called All About Woo, the world of oneness. We're all coming together. We're recognizing that we have similar things going on in our lives, and that we're so fully supported if we allow that support to come through. I believe it was Casca who said recognition, and I use the words acknowledgement and awareness, right? This has been just really, really magical. We have our next guest speaker in the house too. I'm very excited about him. Grab a glass of water, freshen up, take a breath, walk around, do your standing. If you are a stepper, I'm a stepper. I actually go for 7,500 steps a day, not that 10,000. But I'm going to take a couple steps away from my desk and just stand up and move my body for a minute. So I invite you guys to move your bodies as well.